Alright, hello everyone, I am Yeshua, and this is my first video. I will be presenting ancient symbolism and the Holy Grail mystery. If you like this sort of stuff, such as philosophy, religion, and ancient cultures, please like this video and comment as well, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And make sure to follow me on Twitter at elasticity33, and go follow my Instagram that I just created, Yeshua_33, and feel free to join my Discord that I created. And I will leave all of these in the description below. So let's get into this presentation now. So, seen within many traditions, there is seen the Holy Grail. To start off, the Holy Grail comes about from Arthurian literature and proceeds to be seen in the Christian religion. Some historians have suggested that this symbol comes from a pre-Christian Celtic background. Within the Welsh tradition, which comes from the Celtics, the Holy Grail is described also within the spoils of Annwn, where a character is imprisoned in the fort's walls and chains until Judgment Day, singing before the spoils of Annwn. Another symbol that is seen as a Holy Grail image is that of the painting of the molten sea described in the Bible. Grail, the word grail, comes from grail, gradle, or grattle. The latter voices that in vulgar Latin come to represent the idea of a container. I also would like to add something to this. In Old Catalan, grazel, it means a cup or bowl or earth, wood, or metal. Alright. Alright, so here is seen in this image is a depiction of Jesus with the Holy Grail, holding up what looks like some sort of coin with a crucifixion. This is a painting called Christ of the Eucharist by Juan Juans. This 16th century painting depicts the Valencia chalice. Alright. Next slide. So here's another Holy Grail image. Here we see what looks like kings or servants of some kind sitting around a table, and at the center is the Holy Grail. So, seen here is the painting of the molten sea. The molten sea is symbolic of the Holy Grail and its cup structure that is seen. Under the cup or bowl is seen bulls. The word bull in Spanish is toro, and for this reason, this image is depicting a Taurus field. And according to the Martinists, the Taurus field is also a symbol for the earth. Alright, next slide. Alright. So, within the human body, there is the symbol of the Holy Grail as seen as symbolic of the human head. It's also seen as symbolic of the universe, obviously. I will just go over some other symbolism that is seen in the slideshow that I put. So, here is seen the star Sirius, which is rising above a ladder. It's up above the ladder, which is symbolic for the Egyptian New Year. And I'm writing in my book about this that will be coming out soon. This star is symbolic for the Egyptian New Year, known as the Wepet Renpet, or the opening of the year. Hopefully I got that word right. Which is where Sirius is seen just before sunrise after being obscured by the sun's light. And during Sirius's disappearance for roughly 70 days between May and July, the star Antares is seen visible on the horizon at night. Then after this time, Sirius then resurrects, which was seen as a symbolic rebirth of Isis's power. The dog star Sirius marked the changing seasons for this reason. We also see Osiris's backbone, which is a symbol for the spine of the human body. And then they're seeing the crook and flail. The crook is symbolic of the shepherd's crook when the sun is in the constellation of Aries, and the flail is symbolic of the harvest when the sun is in the constellation of Virgo. Um, you guys might have seen that depiction of Hermes Trismegistus holding a lamb over his neck, and or Jesus holding a lamb or leading the lamb. It's all symbolic of that. Okay, going. All right, let's go to the top of this image. So we see Ganesh or Ganesha. Sorry if I got that wrong. Which is the elephant god in Hinduism, which looks symbolic of the brain. We also see the Eye of Horus as well within the brain, and the scarab beetle that looks like the shape of the human head. And we also see the Holy Grail, which looks like the human body as well. To the left of this image, or to the left of this slide, sorry, is seeing the brain and the fourth ventricle in comparison with the ram and its horns. Seen to the left is the Egyptian figure, or is an Egyptian figure that represents this symbolism, or is trying to represent this symbolism. Very symbolic. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next slide. All right, so seen in this image is a wide range of symbolism, but to the common man, they might laugh at this sort of depiction that is trying to relay a message to the person who might see it. So let's go over the symbolism. Seen at the very bottom is the turtle, right here. All right. The turtle is also described as a tortoise. And the word tortoise sounds like toroidal, which is symbolic for the toroidal field. So you got tortoise, toroidal, which almost sounds the same. That's what this is trying to represent, trying to show you, and that's what this is representing. There is an ancient artifact that was found with a man's head in combination or union with the turtle shell, and also has a turtle body, which I will show in the next slide. Okay, so on top of this turtle is the elephant, and the elephants look like to be holding the earth on their backs, which they are. Going back to the previous slideshow, when I explained the elephant in comparison to the brain, we can take this as the world brain. We can also symbolize the trunk of the elephant's snout, so the elephant's snout. As being like a returning force that would go back around again to make the geometry of the torus field. As you can see, it would go back around again, just like the torus field. It looks like a snout, or the elephant's trunk or snout. All right. More elephants are on top of the earth, as seen here. They're smaller in comparison to the ones on the bottom. This can be seen as the symbolic, or sorry, this can be seen as symbolic of the expanding and the contracting forces of the torus field, which is centrifugal divergence and centripetal convergence, because it comes out, it expands, and then it comes back in again. So you got centrifugal divergence, and then you got centripetal convergence. And centrifugal divergence is right spinning and expansion, and centripetal convergence is left spinning and it's going back in again, as seen like with this golden ratio, or this S curve that is depicted within the torus field. All right. So the elephant snout, it looks like the golden ratio as well. And what is gaining popularity from what I've seen is the S curve of creation. Uh, and then seen around all of these animals is the snake biting its own tail, which gets into like the Ouroboros. Uh, and the snake is a representation of the magnetic field. So this whole symbol is representing all of creation, basically. All right, let's go to the next slide. So here's the artifact that was found. Uh, it's a man with a turtle shell and a turtle body in union. And this is symbolizing, you can say, with the torus field within man. It can also symbolize a number of other things as well, but this is definitely symbolizing the torus field within man. All right. So many people are obsessed with the symbolism and the mythology of Hyperborea. Within this word comes about huge significance. There is the word hyper and the word borea. The word bull in Spanish, toro, means toro, which is symbolized as the torus field. And I went over that in another slide, a previous slide. When sounding out Hyperborea, the word hyperboloid and aurora borealis comes to mind. Putting these two words together, you would get Hyperborea. Known in the center of the Hyperborean map is the magnetic rock that is called Rupus nigris, which translates to black rock, right here. I'd like to mention on this show, Ancient Aliens, a guy tells a story where he touched a UFO craft, and on that craft, when he touched it, he got a revelation of ones and zeros, and when decoded, leads to a specific location known as High Brazil. This land is symbolized as a fictional land, and its etymological root stems from the Irish name I Brazil, which means Isle of the Blessed. And there's been speculation on maps and in videos and such from what I've researched that they try to find this land. I have not found any. I just searched it up. This seems to be just like a mythology. It's all symbolism. But if anyone has any other information out there, let me know. Alright, so within the esoteric tradition of Hermeticism and spiritual alchemy is seen the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is a symbolic stone where the shape of the circle, triangle, square, and another circle all fit within each other. The ancient painting of Hermes, or a figure holding a compass seen drawing the Philosopher's Stone, is alluding how humanity is a microcosmic expression of the macrocosmic. The microcosmic being a small universe and the macrocosmic being a large universe. In other words, a small scale and a big scale. A large circle is seen inscribed representing the macrocosm. The triangle connects the circle, which represents the connection between heaven and earth. Seen within the triangle is a square, and the square is known to be a part of the golden ratio, which makes up all of nature. There is once again seen another circle within the square, and this is where we can say that the squaring of the circle is present. This ancient symbol is telling us how we are expressions of the one infinite God that pervades all of the universe, and how through God's infinite expression and thought gets manifested, is seen universally on the big scale and on the small scale. And I'd like to also add to this that the squaring of the circle is also a huge significance ancient Egypt and in probably other places as well, but especially ancient Egypt. And within ancient Egypt, they show the squaring of the circle. And basically, if you were to project the golden ratio out, since it fits inside of a square, it would make up a cube. And in Plato's Timaeus, it it talks about Earth being made up with a bunch of cubes. You can see this on the Statue of Liberty. There's a bunch of cubes on there, or what looks like squares, or if you just were to look at the Statue of Liberty, it'd be a bunch of cubes, which I go into my book that I'm writing. And yeah, so much symbolism with the square. The Freemasons, they also have a square with the stone, or sorry, with the building materials. There's also a square in Mecca, or a cube, a cube in Mecca, and it's black because black is representing the feminine aspect of creation. In a particular verse in the Bible, it's in the Song of Solomon. I forget which verse it is, but it says that my daughter is black, or I am black, or something like that, which is representing basically the feminine aspect of creation. That's what black represents. That's what black is representing in the Masonic Masonic square tiles. Of black and white. That's also the symbol of the yin and yang as well, where the yin and yang is representing duality, black representing the feminine, white representing the masculine. You might have also seen depictions of the star of creation being black and white, such as the Martinis, I believe. They have a black and white star of creation if you look at their symbolism of it. White being masculine, which that's the normal triangle. It's pointing up to heaven, and black being feminine, and it points down to earth. And when you combine these two, you basically get a unity with the masculine and the feminine, and that's basically within all of us, basically. Alright, let's go to the other slide. So black and white symbolism. It's also seen as like the magnetic field too, you can say. There's also, before I get into this slide, I'd also like to add into the jester's hat. The jester's hat is a symbol for this, of the magnetic field as well. It's with its black and white symbolism. I know jester's hats are sometimes different colors, but there's a particular jester's hat that is symbolizing this magnetic field phenomenon. Alright, so also seen within spiritual alchemy is that of going from base metals to gold. We come to earth incarnating here, and we are lost, and we are seen as the slave race where we need to mine for gold spiritually. I know there's many things saying how this was Zachariah Sitchin's theory of the Anunnaki, but nonetheless, this remains true. So many researchers or proponents of theories of aliens want to take it literally. They want to take mining for gold in some scripture literally. This once again comes about from Zachariah Sitchin's theory. I I haven't researched too deep into them, so I don't know too much about them. But from what I've seen, this is his own theory. Um, so let's continue on. The symbol of Chrysopeia, which is this symbol right here, is identical to the Ouroboros of the snake eating its tail. There's black and white symbolism of the Chrysopeia, which once again represents duality. This symbol is a symbolic representation of turning base metals to gold. It's through a spiritual purification of the soul's journey on earth that this happens. There is also the days of the week as well, and each day represents a metal symbolically. As each day passes until the sun, there's also the days of the week, and each day represents a metal symbolically as each day passes until the sun comes back around again to Sunday. The Ouroboros or Chrysopeia is also an ancient symbol of a cyclical death and rebirth journey of the soul and of the cosmos, since all celestial bodies are seen to journey in a circle. This goes back to the Philosopher's Stone and the circle that is seen within the image. In particular, the macrocosmic circle, the big circle, not the smaller one with the people in it. Alright, next slide. Alright, here's a good one. Alright, another ancient symbol is that of the alchemical transformation of nature. And this can also happen within man, a spiritual alchemical transformation within man. But, so another ancient symbol is that of the alchemical transformation of nature as seen with Jesus on the cross with the 4-letter word on top, I-N-R-I. There are two versions of this word, one being the exoteric meaning and one being the esoteric meaning. The exoteric meaning given to the masses is the Latin inscription Jesus Nazarenus Rex Udarium. Sorry if I got that wrong or mispronounced any of those words, which in English translates to Jesus the Nazarene, King of the Jews. The true esoteric meaning of this word is really Igne Natura Renovatur Integra, which means through fire, nature is reborn whole. Jesus Christ, in the esoteric form, symbolizes the sun, and every year the sun is going from spring, summer, fall, and then winter. Then from winter back to springtime again, nature is renewed or reborn. This goes back to the previous slide of the Ouroboros of the snake in a repetitive cycle where it is seen eating its tail, symbolizing birth, death, and rebirth. There's also the King Arthur story as well of him dying. Very symbolic. Alright. Next slide. Okay, so seen within this image is the ancient serpent mount of a snake. This is the snake. I know it's kind of hard to see it, but it's a snake. And what appears to be an egg right here. And this snake bites the egg at the very end. Now, it has been theorized that this ancient figure is symbolic of aligning with the solar eclipses. But on another note, this mount aligns with the solstices and the equinoxes, including the sunrises and the sunsets. The design of the mound also matches the shape of the constellation Draco with the star Thuban, which served as the North Pole star from the 4th to the 2nd millennium BC, which lines up with the first curve in the snake's torso from the head. Alright. So, as you can see, to the left is the serpent mound with the snake eating the egg. and the right is a serpent wrapped around the egg. This symbol is known as the Orphic egg. The egg represents the universe, and the snake, or sorry, the egg represents the universe, and the snake, as I stated before, is a symbol for the magnetic energy of Earth. Put together, these symbolize the magnetic flow of the cosmos. All right. So there is my presentation. This is my first video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be doing more presentations in the future. So please subscribe, like, and comment once again. Join my Discord. Follow me on my social medias. And I will be creating a book. I am actually writing a book. I'm in the middle of it. I should be done soon, but yeah. I also will be creating a website later on in the future. So if you like this sort of stuff, please sign up. And yeah, have a nice day, everybody.